Check, check. Let's see. Are we live now? Let's see. We should be live now. There we go. All right. Should be good to go. Let me check the Facebook group. Let me see here. 1 second, folks. All right. There we go. All right. We are set to go. Boom. I think both of them are. All right, so back to what I was saying. Technical stuff. I tell you, man, once we get through this, we are good. Looks like we are live, but we are set to go. Thank you again. Want to be dope live. Thank you for bearing with us. So we went through a quick recap of yesterday. Today, we had so many great things. Prepare yourself, buckle in. We're going to go straight through today as well, and just speaker after speaker, and just it's just going to be wonderful. So before we get into that, though, I do want to make sure that we thank our sponsors. Good story. So make sure you check that out. If you haven't registered, you still can register so that you can go tomorrow for the film release, so you don't want to miss that. All right. And before we jump into our presentations, one list and do that. And what we're doing now, we have a new thing that we're going to start now. We're launching our 5-day course creator challenge. We did it about a book. And you have a nonfiction book, a self-help book, and you aren't offering your book, the contents of your book in some form of a course. We are launching the 5-day course creators online course, right? So if you're selling a book, you're probably selling your book at $15 to $20, but that doesn't mean that the content and the knowledge inside your book is only worth $15 to $20, right? A different format demands a different price. So if you want to take your $20 book, turn it into a $200 course, turn it into a $2,000 course, then you want to make sure you go ahead and sign up for March 21st. So make sure you go ahead and check that out to get rolling with that. All right, so we want to jump right in. Today, we're going to start today with a special presentation from Howard University out of, and now she's in California. We talked to her previously about her new film project. We want to share that with you. All right, so thank you. Welcome to this quick Born to Be Dope spotlight. I'm excited to talk to this young lady, and she's going to tell us about an important project she has coming up. So if you've seen the Born to Be Dope Tap In mag, to talk to her daughter today, Cassandra Price, and she has a special project that she's been working on, and we want to talk about. So Cassandra, I should ask you, is Cassandra, how do you like to say your name?
Cassandra.
Who Cassandra is, what you're doing and how you got into this film thing.
Yeah, of course. So for me, I did my bachelor's degree at Howard University, and I do directing, producing, and writing. I've been writing since I was I've been doing a lot of screenwriting before I even knew what screenwriting was. I've been writing since I was a kid, just writing stories and then getting my friends and my families to help play the characters. And now I've done a lot of research and study within the filmmaking. That is what helped me produce my latest feature film called Homeless Right at Home.
We're here to talk about the film, but I can't let it slide that you just slipped in there that you are an aerospace engineer. All right, engineer. So that's dope in and of itself. But so let's talk about the film. Is it Homeless, or I don't want to mess up the title?
Right at Home.
Right at Home. Okay.
Yes. And it's kind of interesting because it kind of comes off like a question, but the title is like a statement. So it's just one of those kind of controversial things. But that's pretty much in this particular film. What happens is we start off with the main character. It's a young man who is the son of this business mogul, but ironically, he's flunking. He's on the verge of flunking his senior year of high school. And so he has this one chance to pretty much take this home. He decides to get with this homeless man that he has befriended to help him with this senior project. And what he soon realizes is that there's more to the story with this homeless man. And what starts off his father's business. And what he realizes is that there's two sides to every story, right? And so all of these secrets pretty much. So there's a lot of plots, twists. There's a lot of suspense, action-filled segments in here. So I'm really excited about it.
Awesome. We're going to go and look at the trailer right now. We're going to let the people see the trailer. We'll come right back on the other side, ask you a few more.
Emailed me, said I have to get named on my senior project or I won't have the GPA to graduate.
Oh, the senior project? That's easy. The assignment is to create a product or service that helps the community, except you have to run it like a business. And there's no ideas on paper. You have to have something for the presentation.
What up, Jerry?
Oh, how's the head today?
Some days are better than others.
Wasting your potential. And most importantly, you're wasting my money.
You know, same old, same old.
You need to fix it, and fix it fast. Because you're gonna have a lot more to worry about than Miss Bridgesmith if you fail your senior year.
All right. So what's the plan?
My business, it could be changing the life of homeless people. And you'll be my first client. It's genius. I'll get my A and
You know about that day? The day your mom passed away.
she didn't pass away, she was murdered. All I know is when I find out who it was, I'm gonna make sure he gets what he deserves.
Be careful. Sometimes things are not always what they seem.
I got this.
Wait. I'm no saint.
You're a problem for my business. And you...
I'm not like you. I'm better than you.
All right, man. I told y'all that was dope. I mean, you know, I want to ask you, Cassandra, because myself, you know, this whole Born to Be Dope project I started, I went to Hampton University, by the way. So HBC, but we won't get into the whole HU thing. We're all too old for that, right? But you know, my degree was in marketing. So I didn't discover this love for filmmaking that, you know, this project I did was because I wanted to get into filmmaking. I wanted to transition into filmmaking. So when I saw this project from you, I was like, yeah, one, it was just so well done. It was just so professionally done. So I'm looking at all of it like, oh man, look at that. I mean, to really becoming, you know, a filmmaker. Like this is a legit film. And so how did you really make that transition or do that while you're out there sending rockets into space or something?
Things are shot, the way the actors perform. So a little bit more detailed than what your average watcher would be doing. And I've always been writing as well. So I've been doing a lot of screenwriting and writing stories. And the trend started off like maybe how many people start off, which is like, how do I even create my own film? Like what are the pieces that I need? So it took a lot of kind of like researching and then just being on set with student films and really trying to figure it out and observe and learn the best I can. And when it came time to figure out the fundamental things with the budget I was working with, what exactly I needed. And I started getting into Facebook groups, just chatting with other filmmakers, trying to find DPs and boom operators and all of that good stuff. And I wrote this particular story. With this story, I wanted to portray that there's a story, everyone has a story, right? And what may be than what you just see on the cover. And I think that's the biggest message that I wanted to get with this film. But yeah, I when I came up with the idea, it just, as I'm writing, it just comes to me, right? Like I'm writing and I'm like, oh, you know, this would be cool if he did this, or yeah, that's pretty much how this feature film blossomed.
Awesome. That's awesome. You know, I know for those who are watching, I've asked a question because I know people watching, I know for myself especially too, people want to get into filmmaking. The first thing they always know about is the budget. So I'm not going to ask you how much you spent on the movie, but what are some things you were able to do to?
My budget, yes, it was definitely very low. But I think with that, it's kind of interesting because I can be creative and resourceful in a way. And so the film turns out to be even better than what I originally planned. Pocket with this film. So that has taught me a lot of more about being resourceful and being creative, right? Because I didn't have extra money to spare on a bunch, but we got it done. You know, we shot the film in 5 days.
5 days, okay.
Yeah, it was a lot. There were some long days. That's pretty much how it got made. And I had a really great cast and a very patient crew that really helped bring it to life. So yeah.
Yeah, you know, and as our viewers just saw with that. So, do you want to tell us who some of the actors were? You had 2 main actors, and well, maybe 2 and a half from the trailer. You
I
had.
will say really quickly for this film, when I started off making it, you know, I had a goal, you know, of what I wanted it to be at the end, how I wanted to market and all a lot more than what I originally started off doing. It became also a platform to really bring Keith Hill, who plays Marcus in the film, Marcus Caldwell, and then Tamaz Baskin, who plays Jerry, which is the homeless guy in the film. And some interesting thing about those. And then we have Jeffrey Lee Cheatham, who plays the father in the film, Marcus's father, Davis Caldwell. And yeah, I mean, a lot of other amazing actors. We have Josiah Hill, who plays a victim in the film. That's his character name. Janae McNeil, who plays Azra, who's the love interest.
In there.
Yeah, she plays one of the extras. And I am in the film as well. I play Marcus's friend Trish. So yeah, it makes. Oh, and Christian Cruz, who also does a feature in there, a cameo in there as well. He plays Marcus's friend. So and Gregory Brault. Oh, let me not forget him. Greg Brault, who plays the police officer in the film as well.
Awesome. So how can when is
support is to go to my Instagram page at KP_productions__, and that's where you'll see the trailer, all of the updates for like any releases that comes with the film. And up next is to do a 3-city premiere tour for the film. And so there's a lot of I'm in motion trying to get a lot of that done. And you can also go to the Instagram page to see about any updates with the tour. And I do have a link, a PayPal link for anybody who is interested in supporting financially for the tour as well. Yeah, that's the some of the main things. Getting it into film festivals, pretty much getting it seen, bringing awareness to it so that I can pitch it to distributors.
You know, in film, you know, lack about stories or different stories being told. So when you see stories like this being told, you see us behind the camera, then it's important for you to go out there and support it. Go out there and support it. You know, some movie you saw on Netflix, you can go out there and tell somebody about this as well. So we want to make sure that we're supporting movies. So I want to give you the final words. You know, anything else you want to say?
Thank you again for having me and interviewing with me. And no, I'm just excited. Feature film. I've learned so much, and I think a lot of people think that, you know, to do a film, any resourceful and creative ways to get it done. And so, and I think my film with Homeless or Right at Home is a film because there was a lot of talented people that worked in this film. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Cassandra Price, KP Productions, Home or Right at Home. I start writing notes. I make sure I get those things right. Homeless or Right at Home. Make sure you check it out. Follow her on Instagram so you can support. And you know, make a donation. Go out and tell somebody else about the film as well. All right, Cassandra. Thank you for joining us. Right after this. The PayPal link posted in the Facebook group before the end of today. The arts support Black media and support a young woman. We are ready to bring her on. Let me just get this set here. Phenomenal story to tell. We're going to talk to her today. So let me go ahead and bring on Miss Montrella Cowan. How are you? Great. All right, so let's jump. First of all, thank you, welcome being here. Montrella is one. She is a. I'm gonna let you tell us. You are a licensed social worker. So tell us.
Yes, we know you could be at the mall, you could be somewhere else on this Saturday to mental health. Now I know it's still taboo and there's a lot of stigma related to this.
All right, so we want to jump right in. That made you say, I want to jump on here and share my story.
When I saw contribute to this project, particularly because, as Wallace D. Wattles said, we also live for the mind. And I wanted to make sure that mental health was.
When you hear dope, like obviously we all have different connotations in
First hear dope, I think about drugs and, unfortunately we've had addictions in my family and things like that. But the real dope is what I call the dynamic. Journeys are so different. And so it's important that we take responsibility for our dopeness. And that's
awesome. And when you talk about unlocking, I like that term. Actually, my very first book was talking about unlocking success. But let's talk about outside of it.
The number one barrier, I would think, is a lot of fear. Adequate, right? Our greatest fear is that we are, amazing beyond measure. And to help perspective, as we go through stuff, when you experience trauma, for example, a lot of people look at trauma as this noun and as something that happens, but it's actually something, it's how you react. Of rape at the age of 14 myself, and being a teenage mother at the age of 15 from the same man who raped me. Worthy, not lovable, and certainly not dope, not here to really contribute. And so it's that now. With this pandemic going on 2 years, I remember, in 2020, March, my birthday's in February and March, we thought this thing was going away because this is the study where it found that 1 in 3 Americans actually are suffering from depression right now due to the pandemic.
Wow.
And unfortunately, Regina King's son, who 2 days later on that Friday. So it's real. Depression is real, but there's a lot of fear. And the number one barrier is the fear of who we really are.
The pandemic, but everything that has changed because of it has really weighed a lot on it. So definitely been tragic on many fronts.
Absolutely.
What would you recommend for people living my dope?
If you haven't pulled out your pen and paper yet, you are for an amazing day. So you need to grab your pen and you need to grab your notebook and your paper. In spite of the pandemic, in spite of the social distancing and the social isolation, and even now we're talking about requires grit, ladies and gentlemen. GRIT. Anything worth having, whether it's a fresh car, whether it's the latest, hit record, like anything that's required that is worth having requires some grit. And the G in grit in America. We're told, slavery's over, but yet we still are constantly reinforced with these messages from constantly negative because we already done discriminated against ourselves. So I need, ladies and gentlemen, for you to get rid of these false identities. And sometimes it comes right from our family, or that the media is pushing on you. I want you to use that G and grit and get rid of them. And then to create your own identity. You get this dope, for me, is real in terms of the drug addictions and things like that. Even if sometimes they look at us like we're stupid or ignorant, right? Because that's another definition of dope. You get to say, as I mentioned with Wallace D. Wattles' quote earlier, you're made of the body, the mind, and the soul. So that mental, we got to really, this is really the only power we have is the mental. Everything that's created in our greatness. And then we'll start to step into it. The I is for inspire those around you. I know a lot of people, and I'm sure you do too, Ryan, who will give many caregivers, because a lot of people are caring for aging parents these days. That's called the sandwich generation. If you're caring for parents and then you have, children or other people receiving that care, outlive the caregiver. That says a lot. That says we're the children and parents. And I'm like, you have to model. The best teacher is to lead by example. So inspire those around you. And finally, the T, having a daughter at 15 and then even losing her